Information, inspiration, motivation. You are now listening to the Going North podcast, where you're going to get all three of those things and more. I'm your host, author, speaker, and book enthusiast, Dom Brightmon. Every Monday and Thursday, you're going to hear the voice of a different author sharing their stories of how they had to overcome some trials in life to become the best versions of themselves, publish their work, and get the most out of life, and to help you get the most out of your life. And today on the Going North podcast, we're going coast to coast with a host-to-host special, baby. A host-to-host special, baby. Yes, sir. And you're probably wondering who this wonderful person is who is going to be on this special of the Going North podcast. This guy right here has been serving others just about all his life because it's a passion of his. And he is the creator of Abundance Dominance Daily, baby. ADD. So that's a different ADD, baby. And that even spells add. So you know this guy's all about adding to his life and adding to others. This wonderful gentleman right here has a background in financial services that introduced him to the challenges that many folks have come to him with, but not involving mostly money, but it's actually with the mindset that led them to their money issues. And you're probably wondering, who is this wonderful person I got right here? It's the one, the only AD of the ADD, Mr. Alex Dumas. How are you today, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Dom. Appreciate the introduction. Thank you, and grateful to be on your show, and I'm grateful to share my experiences, my insight with your audience, and definitely appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, man. It was great being on the show, man, bringing the information to the Abundance Daily crowd, baby. Had to bring you in on the Going North side of the game, baby. That's right. Give you a break from the hosting for a bit, and then you get to be a guest. How's it feel, man?
It feels good. It's a little bit different on this side because I'm usually the one, excuse me, I'm usually the one ready with the questions and just really, kind of primed with, all the things of the conversation, just really trying to see where it goes. And so it's a little bit weird, a little bit different on this end where, okay, I'm the interviewee, I'm getting the questions and, kind of, bouncing off the energy. But, we had a great time on my podcast, and, that's why I'm so grateful that I was able to, jump on yours and, share my experience with the Going North crowd and, just connect with you again because, you have a great personality, great insight, and obviously super driven, and, that's the type of people I want to be surrounded by. So, great to just connect with you again, Dom.
Oh, amen to that. Great to be connected with my fellow chocolate folks that believe in abundance, baby. And don't worry, the cornfield is still in abundance here, too. The jokes have been shucked. They're ready to be released and eaten.
Yeah.
And no one's going to see when it's coming at all. So let's get the show on the road. So mind introducing folks to the wonderful Alex and filling the gaps where I may have missed some things with the introduction.
Yeah, so just to kind of almost reverse engineer right now, my name is Alex Dumas. Me and my wife Sarah, we run and host this podcast, Abundance Daily. So we, release episodes twice a week. Some of being, our insights, our perspective, and some of it just being interviews with fellow podcasters, other entrepreneurs. And our goal, our mission, really is to empower, to educate, and inspire, different entrepreneurs and just even regular people, who are, blue collar workers, white collar workers, with their mindset and just really activate the abundance that's around them. So the keys that we see are having a balance of faith, family, finances, fitness, and also fun. And I explained this a little bit where think of it like 5 fingers. So you have these 5 aspects of your life. and you need them all in harmony, right? And once you put it together, you make a fist, and that fist is going to help you fight anything, any challenge you have in your life. And our background, my wife has a background in accounting, I have a background in financial services and marketing, network marketing for both of us. And what we found was that those are great industries, and just other experiences through life, with being as employees and things like that. Those are great experiences, but we want to be able to help people with our coaching, with our mindset, because what we find is that so many people out there are locked, blocked by limiting beliefs, whether it be fears, whether it be doubts, whether it be worries, whether it be past experiences that have allowed people to write a story for themselves that's not really true. You know what I mean? Where we have people that somebody may have said something to them in first grade, or somebody that they trust, that they care about, or care for them and love and respect, maybe didn't program them with the right mindset, where it was more limited beliefs, where it was more, you can't do this. How are you going to be able to do this? You're not capable of achieving your dreams. And to me, that's complete, BS. We're all capable of anything that we want to do. The abundance is all around us. I say this as I'm writing a new book, writing a book, Abundance, and I have this quote in here where I say that abundance is your birthright, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you deserve it. And that sounds harsh to people, but what I mean by that is God has laid out the abundance in your life. God has given you all the resources, all the materials, all the connections available to you, all the technology, everything. Everything is right there for you. But just because it's there for you doesn't mean you deserve it. You have to put in the work. Faith without action is dead. So what we want to do with our podcast, with our coaching, with our courses, is give people an opportunity to not only obviously be inspired, but now empower them to take real chances and make real changes in their life. That makes sense. So that's kind of the backstory on us. I mean, there's a lot involved with who I am, with a background of substance abuse and just negative thinking, anxiety, and just a well of negativity and just poisonous habit. And me working my way through the darkness into seeing the light. I'm not going to say I'm totally in the light yet, because I don't think you ever really achieve that success, or really, success is not something that you just achieve. It's a journey. And me and my wife, we're on our journey. That's where we want to help our domination with their journey, and anybody else that we can help and help service. That's what we want to do. So that's the 2-minute, 3-minute drill on us.
Beautiful indeed, beautiful indeed. Man, like you said about just the 5 fingers making a fist, it's like, oh man, it's like now, it's like, man, do you have to have a cape that has abundance on it now and make sure you save as many people as possible? And it's like, oh man, it's a superhero, baby, bringing abundance to the world. And then you have to really spread the good news. Well, it's good news to the folks who actually take the advice, but the fact that you have to actually put forth some effort, it's like praying and then just doing nothing afterwards. It's really great that you mentioned the fact that, hey, you got to take some kind of action afterwards. You can't just be on your knees or just be sprawled out on the ground, face on the ground, and pray and then do nothing. It's really, really good that you mentioned that, because folks like to take the hope approach, and if that's your only approach, then that's really bad, if not the worst approach, because you're basically sticking your head in the sand. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the hope side of it. You're almost being a hope dope. I made up that word. I want to make sure that people understand that I'm not trashing any religion, any spirituality, any type of belief that you may have. But from my beliefs, in the good book, it literally says, faith without action is dead. And You just can't sit around. Let's say you have a weight goal, right? You want to lose X amount of pounds in X amount of days. Well, you literally cannot just sit there and just stare at the calendar and stare at your time and like, okay, well, I'm going to lose this amount of weight in this amount of time. It doesn't work like that. You have to go to the gym, right? You have to discipline yourself to monitor your meals and monitor your portions depending on, what kind of plan you have. You have to start really being more conscious of the sleep you're getting. Then you have to be more conscious of the mood you have as you eat those meals. Same thing with finance. You want to save X amount of money. Okay, well, the money that you want. The thing that you want to buy or the thing you want to achieve. But now you need to start reverse engineering, breaking that down. Like, how much do I need to spend a day, or how much do I need to save a day, should I say? And then, if you're not saving enough or not earning enough, now you need to think of more creative ways of how can I earn more money? How can I monetize something that I have? And that is another action. So everything in life is an action, and everything in life is really a negotiation. It's either a negotiation of the things that you want or the things that you're willing to tolerate and the things you're willing to accept. And I think most people are willing to negotiate with themselves that they're going to accept this certain lifestyle. Meanwhile, they're craving this other lifestyle, but in the middle part, the glue that's going to connect that bridge is the action. And unfortunately, we see a lot of people that are not willing to take that action, and you have to take massive immediate action. It can't be something that is delayed or procrastinated on. You have to jump on it right away, because the more you think about it, the more you talk to yourself about, well, I want this goal, I want this, I want this, I want that. Now the other voices in your head are going to say, well, you can't do that. You've never done that before. You've never made this amount of money. You've never lost this amount of weight. You've never had this kind of relationship. So what makes you think that you deserve it? And all these negative, crazy thoughts go in your head, and then you talk yourself out of it, and then you're right back at square one, because you had this motivation, you had this inspiration, and somehow in between the action part and the thought part, you just talk yourself out of it. I hope that makes sense for the people out there.
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense indeed, and it is very true about the negative thoughts, like what you said earlier about the well of negativity. I mean, when you think of well, you may think of water, or if you're a deep thinker, which we both are, going to think of possibly your well of your own personal energy, but there's also a well of negativity that's probably the deepest of them all if you let it get to that point. And you mentioned in the past that you may have had to overcome some substance abuse, and it's like, wow. So tell us a bit more about that and how you're able to overcome that, because there may be someone out there who may be on drugs right now, and they're just using them just to cope with whatever's going on.
Yeah, definitely. A great question right there. And, my struggle really, I started, getting introduced to, like marijuana and beer, alcohol, things like that when I was around 14 years old. And that really, I was engaged in those actions then, but really all of that started from childhood, as far as me not feeling like I connected with people, me feeling like I didn't belong in certain spaces. Just kind of give you a quick, I don't even call it, a quick synopsis of my lifestyle is, I was born, in New York, grew up, born and raised in New York, and, raised pretty much in the suburbs, but in my area, it was kind of like the suburban hood. You know what I mean? Where I wasn't really, I was like middle class, like that lower middle class, like status, but like a lot of my friends, obviously minorities, Black, Hispanics, but I was going to private schools, I was going to mainly parochial Catholic schools. So I had two sides of education, right? So I had like the side of the streets, and I had the side of like, the book smart, educated, Ivy League style stuff. And it was kind of a topic for me because I didn't fit in with either crowd. I was a little bit too wild for like my friends in school, but I was too uppity and too educated for, for the homeboys around the way. So that kind of had me with a weird identity of not really not really fitting in anywhere. So kind of fast forward into my teen years and introduced to cigarettes and, like I said, different narcotics and marijuana, all this stuff. And that was my way of clouding myself, of fogging my mind, of masking who I really was, because what I wanted was for people to accept me. I wasn't really necessarily, I could say right now, looking back, I wasn't necessarily addicted to substances themselves. They did play a factor. I'm not going to diminish it, but I was more addicted to the approval, addicted to other people's approval of me. My identity was the class clown. My identity was the goofball. My identity was the guy who, played sports for a little while, popular with the girls, popular with, the fellas around the way, but everything was always tied to humor and me trying to make other people happy. And at the end of the day, that really just made me more miserable. And it was my struggle for years and years and years, and trying to understand myself, trying to improve myself, and trying to just figure out why I was feeling the way I was feeling. Because, looking at it externally, I had all the advantages. I went to great schools, I had great health, a decent looking guy, a rest, like nothing crazy, good household, great upbringing with my parents, my brothers and my sister, and all these different things. And yet, why am I not happy? Why am I not fulfilled? And I was trying to fulfill myself with these substances and, people around me who weren't really looking for the best thing for me, who weren't really trying to upgrade me. It was trying to keep me at their level or below. And it was just my state of consciousness at the time. That's what it was. There's no excuse for it. That's just what it was. And what kind of led me out with that was really, me and my wife, connecting with my wife, and she more or less kind of laid it out like an ultimatum. It was basically, hey, either you got to live this lifestyle or you got to stay with me. And I think I made the right choice. I, gave up that lifestyle, gave up those antics, and, connected with her, and just, we worked on our relationship together, and she was really a great support system for me to make those changes. So for anybody out there who may be having a struggle, whatever you have to do, I think you need to find somebody or something that's going to upgrade you. Because where you are right now, if you're struggling with something, if it's drugs, alcohol, whatever you're struggling with, you need to separate yourself from that environment, because you are only as good as your association. If you hang around with people who are not doing positive things, I don't want to call them losers, but you know who those people are. You know the hood people around the way. You know the dope boys around the way. That's not your future. That's not your plan. That's not what's been laid out for you. And if you're really trying to achieve a different level of success, and it doesn't have to be necessarily monetary. The success within yourself can be, I'm a nicer person to people. I'm somebody in my community that people respect. I'm somebody that can be trustworthy. I'm somebody who's authentic. I'm somebody who has character. You have to surround yourself with people who are like that, who are a little bit above you in those realms, those areas, and learn from them and have them guide you, have them coach you, have them mentor you, so that now not only are you learning, but you can kind of keep your eyes open for people who are in your situation as you start to elevate yourself, and you can pull them up too. So that's my take on it.
Amen to that, man. Glad you overcame that addiction, and not just the alcohol and the weed, but more importantly, the personality addiction of just trying to be a people pleaser, because that's a addiction that folks don't really talk about. Is the addiction to the wrong mindset, and addiction to the wrong goals, and it can really affect you possibly even deeper than possibly alcohol, because, I mean, the alcohol can probably affect you physically, but the mental effects, oh my gosh, oh man, that could do a number on you.
It's, I don't know, man. It's like, think about it like this, from the time that we're kids, if we do something, say it's color a drawing or something like that, or start to eat food, you just have to learn how to, control your motor functions. First things you're doing is you're looking for your parents. And they're saying, good job, great job, Tom. You did amazing. What a great job you did, right? And that is a reinforcement. It's positive reinforcement. But keep in mind that now you're tying in your identity to what that person is thinking about you or what that person says about you, because whatever you're doing, you're looking for that person. You're looking for something versus this is what I do because I like to do it. It's for me. And in a way, you kind of have to be selfish in that regard, but it's really just a separation of just, that IDGAF. I just don't give a blank about what people think. And it's tough. That's one of the toughest things that anybody out there has to learn and to program in their mind, because anybody who's done anything significant in life, they've always been criticized, they've always been judged, they've always been looked at. But if you're doing the thing that's in your heart, that's what you feel like God has put you on this earth to do, and you go for it 100% full force, those naysayers, those people that are criticizing you and are judging you, maybe into your face or behind closed doors, they're eventually going to become believers, because your belief is what is all that counts.
That's right. And it's also great to get around people who upgrade you. I love that. At first, as soon as you said upgrade you, I'm like, oh man, Beyonce song, baby. Let me upgrade you.
Right, you gotta upgrade you. It's the truth. You gotta get around people that are just, that are on a different frequency than you. You know what I mean? You can't stay at the same frequency and expect different results. You gotta get around people that are moving. If you're somebody who's used to staying still, and let's put it like this. If you and me are walking side by side right now, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to your listeners, if you and me are walking side by side, one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to adjust to my pace, or I'm going to adjust to your pace. So I'm a speed walker, I'm pumping, I'm moving fast, you're going to keep up with me. But if you're somebody who's used to going slow, and I want to kind of fit in with you and get comfortable, then I'm going to slow down so that I make you feel comfortable and it's not awkward, it's not weird, because it's just going to be a weird thing if two people going on a walk, I'm at the end of the block and you barely made out the driveway. You know what I mean? So we're either going to work together, either I'm slowing down or you're keeping up. And that's just how it goes.
Yeah, that's true too. And I mean, when it comes to getting around a person to upgrade you, gotta also keep in mind to find a way down the line to upgrade them down the line. If not, help them maintain what they have, which is a very important piece that you also mentioned. So that's really great, because some people forget the other half of that. It's like, oh man, it's like, oh shoot, I'm around this person. Oh man, it's so nice and kind and everything. And then after a while, you just don't see that person because they had the moocher mindset. They basically became the M&Ms, and they took their peanuts and chocolate and just fell out the bag, never to be found again. And then it's like, oh man, it's like, darn it, I can't trust people. So any advice for folks who are looking to get out of their current frequency and get around folks who are vibrating at higher levels and trying to actually do something and to get more out of life?
Yeah, definitely. A couple of things that they can do is, one, take a look at what they're passionate about. Because I think what you're passionate about is going to drive you. If it's something that you have to do, it becomes a chore, it becomes this almost mindless task because I have to do it this way, I have to blah, 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 and you lose out quick. you lose that inspiration quickly. If it's something you're passionate about, now that's something that's going to really drive you. That's something that's really going to pull you toward a lifestyle that you want. So, A is just, looking within and finding out what it is that you're passionate about. Is it music? Is it sports? Is it communications? Is it marketing? Is it philanthropy? Being somebody who's helping out the community. Is it about making a lot of money? Is it about politics or a law? Whatever it is, find out what you're passionate about, and then B, start reaching out to people. There's nothing wrong with just asking somebody for help. You gotta ask for help, because if you knew how to do it, you would have done it already. So if you don't know how to do something, then I don't want to say idolize people, but people that you can feel as can mentor you, reach out to them, but also know that anyone you reach out to as a mentor or as a guide or a coach, just understand that it's not a take. It's a give and take relationship. So you have to be somebody who's willing to put something on the table. It doesn't necessarily have to be monetary money, but you have to be willing to put in some time. You have to be willing to put in some effort and kind of show them that, hey, I want to have the business that you have. I want to have the lifestyle that you have. These are the things I'm willing to do, and kind of map out a plan together, because dreams don't come true, plans come true. And if you plan something, it's going to happen as long as you follow the plan and execute. I think for, your listeners out there, finding the passion, what you're really passionate about, and that's going to take some soul searching. That's not something you can answer it. That's not a question you can answer in one day or 1 hour. That's something that you might have to really examine and really take a really hard look analysis at it and just say, all right, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I have some talents in, because we all have talents. We all have gifts that are given to us. My gift might be able to plug in a microphone into my computer and twice a week deliver messages that are going to inspire people. Your gift may be somebody who can craft great messages in marketing. You might be somebody who can create great films. You might be somebody who can create great art with your hands or on the computer. You might be somebody who's great athletically, and you can dunk the basketball, you can score touchdowns, you can kick the soccer ball great. Whatever it is, that's what the gift was given to you. You have to listen to it and tap into it and be passionate about it, and then just seek somebody out there who's maybe they're not so far ahead of you. You don't want to be somebody who's like, hey, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to go reach out to this person who's so far ahead of me that it's not. First of all, it's going to be kind of a waste of their time, because you're a newbie, you're starting out. What do you really offer to the table? But there's somebody that you see, hey, they have a couple 1,000 likes on Instagram or whatever. Reach out to them like, hey, how can I be of service to you? How can I help you? And that starts the conversation of them being like, okay, you want to help me out? All right, how can I help you? Because any successful person they're always going to be willing to help out somebody else if they're really down about it. You know what I mean? Like, if there's somebody who's really serious and willing to take the action, they're gonna do it. Be passionate about it. Be driven. Be obsessed, even if it has to come to that level, because what you're obsessed about, you'll eventually possess.
Ooh, I like that. What you're obsessed about.
I'm bringing the juice today, man. Bringing the fire for you.
Oh, yeah, man. Man, forget the corn, man. The man bringing the flames, baby, man. We having a wood burn stove up in this piece. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man. Well, your podcast has been going 20 plus episodes strong at this point. How's it feel, man?
It feels amazing, honestly, because me and my wife, we were a team on this, and we started the podcast at the start of June, and honestly, up until this year, I had never listened to a podcast before in my life. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't even know what it was. I heard things go, the Joe Rogan podcast or so-and-so's podcast. I didn't really know what that was. And then once I started listening to a few different people in the business space and the personal development and self-help space, I started thinking to myself, you know what, I maybe can do this. Maybe I can start a podcast. You know, and it was just that. It was the spark, and then it became a flame, then it became a fire, and now it's become a blaze because it started with that idea, and then I started researching, okay, well, how do you start it? How do you even begin a podcast? And I looked up, I'm going to give him a quick plug, John Lee Dumas. You know, we're not related or anything like that. We just have the same last name, but he's a super successful entrepreneur, and he had this free podcast course. And, you know, I went through it, and I looked at it, and I was like, okay. He basically broke down, like, hey, this is the equipment you need. This is, you know, how you launch and blah, blah, blah. And so me and wife just, like, we just started to record. And to be honest with you, it sucked at first. By my standards, you know, I'm somebody who likes to, this is one of my challenges. I like to have everything kind of perfect and blah, 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 and just really, really fine-tuned and tight. But nothing in life is ever going to really work out like that. So sometimes you just got to jump in, feet first, and figure it out. So we did that. You know, here we are as we're recording at the end of September. It's been a few months. We've had, you know, the number of downloads that we've had, and honestly, I never really expected really anybody to listen and to come back week after week and tune in and check in and help us and be part of our journey and our mission. And once I got the idea, you know, after the first month of, hey, you know, maybe I could start interviewing people. Well, I've never done it before. I mean, in my time of financial service, to interview people, prospect, and, you know, do home visits and do a couple of speaking engagements for, you know, different community events and street fairs, stuff like that. But, you know, me talking to different entrepreneurs and me talking to different business owners and podcasters, that's been a total revolution in my mindset because, yeah, it shows me, hey, that I'm on the right path because here I am able to connect with so many people, so many great minds, people with great ideas like yourself, and there's just all the other people that I've interviewed in the past that I'm going to interview, and it's opened these doors for these connections and these friendships, and I never thought that it would happen like that, and that's just been one piece of it with the podcast, and it just shows me that I'm on the right path, and you know, as people are tuning in and listening to the podcast and are you know, sending their good reviews and stuff like that, it puts me at a different vibration because, A, I know that somebody's looking out for me. Hey, Monday morning, 5 a.m., Thursday morning, 5 a.m., somebody's checking and looking for my stuff. So I can't let them down. You know what I mean? It's now less about me, but it's more about them. It's more about me, you know, the service I can provide and, you know, that we can provide, me and my wife. So it's been a great outlet. It's been a great tool for us to just work on our development because we're still a work in progress. I'm not somebody who has it all together or all figured out. I'm in the process of doing that as well. And it's been a great opportunity this year for us to just spread our message and uplift somebody else and make a difference in their lives. It's been really cool.
Amen to that, man. Just spreading the message like butter on toast, man. That's what I'm talking about. So what's been your greatest lesson learned so far with the podcast?
Greatest lesson I've learned so far is to let go. Let go of the control, let go of trying to be perfect. My first couple episodes, you know, some of them were like 20 minutes, 30 minutes long of, you know, the actual episode time, but it would take me hours of editing it because I would be trying to cut out this part and sync up this and make everything just perfect and beautiful, and and I listened to this podcast where this woman actually interviewed. His name is Dr. Jamie Kulaga, and one of her things was like, just let it go. Like, who cares? Who cares if you have the arms? Who cares if you have the blah, 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 blah. Like, I mean, yes, some stuff you have to cut out, but really, who cares? The only person who's really thinking about that is you. The only person who doesn't like your voice is you. The only person who doesn't really think that you're good enough is you, and you have to just let that go, drop it, and just move forward and just take control of your mind and take control of your life. And that's probably been the biggest lesson, just let go.
Amen to that indeed. If I had the Frozen theme song, Let It Go, I'd play it right now, man, because it's so freaking true, man.
You know it's true, because, like, I'm sure for you, the first episodes or whatever, first month, whatever it was, you're trying to, like, just dissect everything. Like, and it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because if you had more than one download, outside of yourself for that week, then it was a success, because somebody out there was tuning in. Somebody out there, made the conscious choice to say, I'm going north. I'm going to click this, download button. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to listen to the episode. And they made that choice, and they didn't care about whatever flubs you had in the episode. They didn't care if the microphones weren't something like that. They didn't care if the dogs were barking, if you might have been sick that day, your voice was a little messed up. They didn't really care. They made the choice because they wanted to get some of you. They came for you to put something in their life, inject some positivity in their life that they didn't have going in.
Hey, you were right about that, man. Remember this one episode I was editing? Oh my gosh. There were so many ums from this one guest. Oh my gosh. I'm not saying who it was to protect the innocent. They're all the guilty and the innocent, but man, oh man, and yeah, man, and I'm an avid Toastmaster, and catching ums is a curse by default when you go to enough meetings. So I heard every single in that episode, and then when I finally uploaded it, the final upload, I went back about a couple months later. There were still ums in there. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, darn it, man. I thought I caught all of them. So many hours editing this 33-minute episode, and I was like, I quit. It's not that bad.
You got to throw your hands in and say, all right, you know what? I'm going to clean it up where it's respectable, because it's never going to be perfect. And then for anybody out there, this doesn't just have to relate to podcasting. Whatever you want to do in your life, in your business, it doesn't have to it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to get started. You just have to take the action, take the first step, because while you're thinking, somebody else out there is doing.
Amen to that indeed. Amen to that indeed. Funny enough, like Guy Kawasaki's spin on that, he likes to say, learn to ship out your products, and don't be afraid if it's crap. But don't put out, but don't put out entire crap though. Don't worry, be crappy, but don't ship out crap.
Yeah, let's put a disclaimer. Listen, it has to be at least like some decent content, some decent quality. Don't just like put on your first draft essay and just like, hey, this is it. This is my manuscript, my manifesto. Like, no, you need to like maybe step away for like a half hour, take a look at it again. Like, oh, okay, I made a couple flubs here. I made some edits and course correct here.
Right about that. So with getting to where you currently are, I'm pretty sure there have been some books that you read that have really changed your life. Mind sharing a title or two that have really inspired you?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to share my mental library of books, and there's been so many that have really inspired me and got me along the way. A couple that come right off the top of my head was one book called The Power of Now. The author's name is Eckhart Tolle, ECKHARTTOLLE, The Power of Now. Another book that's powerful by an author who wrote, this author Napoleon Hill, who wrote basically the Bible of personal development, Think and Grow Rich. Obviously, if you haven't heard of it, now you have, so you're welcome. Thank you for that. But side of that book is another book that he wrote, and I'm going to give you just a quick backstory on it. He wrote it, during when he was alive in the 1930s or whatever it was, like early 1900s. Let's just say that. And his family, his foundation, didn't release it until the early 2010s because it was so controversial. It was so left field because there was a lot of the content of it was talking about the school system and political system and just different mindsets, different institutions and churches. So the book is called Outwitting the Devil, and that is a powerful book. It's unbelievable. I highly recommend it. And the last resource I'm going to share with you people is The Art of Not Giving a F. I don't have off the top of my head who the author is.
Mark Manson. I know who that is.
Okay, yes. So the art is either the art or subtle art of not giving a F. Whew. You want to talk about some power of just really letting go and just and detaching yourself from outcomes, and detaching yourself from people's expectations. That's a great book. So those three right there, The Power of Now, Outwitting the Devil, and The Art of Not Giving an F, right there. That's for you people. Do your homework, listen, and if you have Audible, listen to it, or if you want to get the full paperbacks, read it. Do that too.
That was a good short list right there. It's kind of like ultra past, and present, because it's like you got The Power of Now, which is like late 90s, early millennium. Then you have Outwitting the Devil, which was written in the 30s but finally released. And thank God they released it. And then you got now with the modern one, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And that book stays on the bestseller list. And at my day job at the library, people always request that book. You can never find it. Everybody always has a copy.
Yeah. It's good quality stuff, and it's helpful. It's really stuff that if you really look at the messages and really think about it in your life and apply it, it's going to make a big difference.
Huge difference indeed. And you're right about the audiobook. I read and listened to both Outwitting the Devil, and I have to admit, listening to it on audio was fortifying after reading the book, because it actually had a voice actor act like he was the devil and whatnot, and that kind of added a different spin on it. And then you just listen to it again, it's like, whoa, a lot of that stuff is still happening today, and it's like, dude, you mean to tell me this planet hasn't changed much in freaking 80 years? What the hell?
Jim Rohn had a great quote at one of his seminars. He was talking about some owners of a company that were reaching out to him and asking him, hey, Jim, what do you think the next so-and-so amount of years are going to be like? And he told them, hey, basically this decade is going to basically be like the last decade, because the last decade was basically like the last decade. There might be some few advancements here, technology here and there, whatever, but people don't change. This stuff that's been going on for 6,000 years of our existence. The sun rises, it falls, the moon comes, it falls, day comes, night comes. Those things don't change. People, our basic fears, our doubts, our worries, our instincts, our passions, our inspirations, they don't really change. we are who we are. We can make adjustments here and there, but we're all driven by love, by fear, by greed, by sex, by recognition, accolade, whatever it may be. Those are things that we're passionate about.
You're right about that. You're right about that. Oh, man. Oh, man. That even... Oh, man. Oh. I thought of something, but just trying to keep the show PG-13. Oh, man, oh, man. Well, if you're to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 in the current year of 2018, but you get to keep your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
Be 25 again, man. I would say, Alex, don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It's never going to happen. Some things in life do line up. When me and my wife got together and started dating, and the stars were aligned, that was perfect timing. And that's one of the rare times that things have ever really lined up perfectly. But being 25, I would just say, don't wait. The dreams you have in your head right now, the ideas, you're right, you're not crazy. Go for it. This is the time. You have youth, you have energy, enthusiasm, you have courage. You're going to get things wrong. Go for it. Don't wait.
Amen to that indeed. And for the folks listening at home, don't wait. Go over there to your Google. Go ahead and type in Abundance Daily Podcast. Go to iTunes, go to Player FM, Podbean, wherever podcasts are found. You listen to that podcast, baby. You download it 500 times over. So in addition to the podcast, any other places where we can find you and keep up with what you're doing, man?
Yeah, definitely. We're available on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify right now. You can go onto our website, abundancedaily.com. On social media, you can find me under Alex Dumas, my wife Sarah Dumas, Sarah with H, Dumas. Instagram, you can find me at The Real Alex Dumas, where you can find my wife under Sarah_Dumas888. We also have a Facebook group, The Abundance Domination, and we're going to be doing a lot of private courses and things like that, because we're going to be releasing some master classes. We've got a webinar that's going to be released pretty soon, so you'll be on the lookout for that. This can be our Abundant Life Blueprint, and that's going to be quick free masterclass. I'll send you the details once we finally get some of those details arranged and have that set up. So that's going to be a free masterclass for people just to kind of get on track, either financially and their personal lives as well. And abundancedaily.com. That's our website. We're going to have more information there, and we're working on the book right now, Abundance: How to Activate Your Abundance by Setting the Right Goals. We have a mini ebook out right now, but really we're going to be revising that and updating that because it's out there. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to release it. It's on Amazon, on Kindle, everything like that. But I don't think it was our best effort, and we didn't really tell our story how we should have. So I want to revise that and give people the full deal. These are all layers. The gloves are off, and I think anytime you can kind of put yourself out there, whether and be vulnerable, that frees you, because now nobody can say anything about you. Nobody can say, "Hey, wow, so you did drugs." Well, I know I did drugs because I told you. You only know what I show you. So peel back those layers. I tell you that, and tell you, some of the different struggles, but also the ways that we overcome them, and then the ways that are now looking to manifest and attract things in our life that are positive and that are going to make the big difference for not only just us, but for our kids and for our grandkids in the future, our great-grandkids, and the legacy we're going to be building. So all those different platforms you can find us on, and we're sharing inspirational messages. I do, he mentioned before, the ADD, the Abundance Dominance Daily, so I'll drop a couple of videos, quick videos, 1 to 2 minutes. I try to do it every day, so if I don't do it every day, don't hold me to it. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. Life gets in the way, but I usually, either myself or my wife will share inspirational messages or videos, and we just try to do our part to distract people from all the garbage around us. There's too much garbage, there's too much negativity, and if we had a little bit more positivity, a little bit more inspiration in our lives, those things become an afterthought, because you should be thinking about yourself. You should be thinking about what you're going to be doing, what contribution you're going to make to the world, versus, oh, well, this person looked this way. Oh, this person dressed that. Oh, this president said that. Oh, this world leader did this, or this team did that. They are kneeling. They're standing there. That garbage doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. You have to, when it's your time to meet your maker. I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent right now, but you just got to be fired up. You got to be passionate about once it's your time to meet your maker, they're not going to be worried, well, did you wear Nikes? Maker's not going to be worried about what did, that Facebook post you made in 2004. You really, you like this video. No, it's about the people that you serve. It's about the people, about the community that you build, and the friendships you develop, and the way you carry yourself day in, day out in your actions. So connect with us on there, connect with us on all those platforms, and check us out. And also make sure you check out Dom. Check out Going North. He's got books out. I've shared it on my platform, and if you don't know how to find him, obviously you're here, you know a way to find him, so make sure you spread the word. Connect with him. Make sure you tell your people. Connect with Dom, because he's a great speaker. He's a powerful person. He's somebody that, even though he's a bit younger than I am, I'm inspired by him, because I see the moves that he's making and that he's going to be making a big difference. So make sure you support his movement, support his journey.
Amen to that, baby. Amen to that. That's right. The Nikes don't matter, baby. The Facebook likes don't matter, baby. Focus on serving people. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey there, buddy. Looks like you made it to the end of this episode. Since you made it to the end of this episode, do both of us a favor and stop being greedy. Stop it right now and share this episode with your friends and your fellow podcast lovers. Be sure to check out the rest of the backlog too while you're at it, and share all those too. And in order to make the rest of your week the best of your week, remember to advance others, to advance yourself.